When China's newest and most advanced aircraft carrier, the Fujian, officially entered service, it was more than just a military milestone. It was a powerful declaration of intent. A declaration that China is no longer content to remain a continental power, but seeks to project influence far beyond its shores. Named after the southeastern coastal province facing Taiwan, the Fujian was commissioned in a grand ceremony personally overseen by President Xi Jinping. The commissioning was heavy with symbolism, a moment meant to showcase China's growing technological prowess and maritime strength under Xi's leadership. The carrier's induction marks a new phase in Beijing's military modernization drive, one that aims not only to strengthen China's coastal defense, but also to assert its role as a global naval power capable of rivaling the United States. The Fujian represents a major leap forward in Chinese naval engineering and capability. Unlike the earlier Liaoning and Shandong, both of which relied on ski-jump launch systems modeled after older Soviet designs, the Fujian is equipped with electromagnetic catapult launch systems, known as EMALS. This is the same advanced technology used by the US Navy's newest USS Gerald R Ford-class carriers. EMALS allow aircraft to take off with greater speed and efficiency, enabling heavier loads of fuel and weapons and therefore extending their combat range. According to state broadcaster CCTV, the Fujian can launch at least 3 types of aircraft, including the upgraded J-15B fighters and potential future stealth aircraft such as the FC-31. This combination gives the People's Liberation Army Navy, PLAN, a level of flexibility and strike potential previously out of reach. Physically, the Fujian is also the largest and most advanced warship ever built in China. With an estimated displacement of around 80,000 tons, it rivals US supercarriers in sheer size. Its flat flight deck allows for simultaneous aircraft operations, while its electromagnetic system ensures faster launch cycles compared to conventional carriers. The ship was designed and built domestically at the Jiangnan shipyard in Shanghai, underscoring the progress China has made in self-reliant defense production. Analysts note that this self-sufficiency represents a strategic milestone. It frees Beijing from dependence on foreign military technology and solidifies its defense industrial base. For a nation that only a few decades ago relied on outdated Soviet blueprints, the Fujian stands as a symbol of China's rapid technological ascent. The political weight of the Fujian's commissioning cannot be understated. Under Xi Jinping's leadership, China has sought to transform the People's Liberation Army, PLA, into a world-class force by the mid-21st century. A goal closely linked to his broader vision of national rejuvenation. Naval modernization has been a central pillar of this effort. Over the past decade, China's Navy has expanded faster than any other in the world, adding destroyers, amphibious assault ships, and submarines at an unprecedented pace. According to the US Department of Defense's 2023 report on Chinese military power, the plan now fields more than 370 ships, compared to roughly 293 for the US Navy. While the US still leads in tonnage, nuclear propulsion, and combat experience, the numerical advantage China now holds changes the calculus in East Asian waters, especially in contested regions like the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. The strategic significance of Fujian's launch is most apparent when viewed through the lens of regional geopolitics. For China, aircraft carriers serve not merely as tools of prestige, but as instruments of deterrence and power projection. The South China Sea, through which an estimated $3.4 trillion in trade passes annually, remains one of the most contested maritime zones in the world. China has fortified several artificial islands there, equipping them with radar systems and missile batteries, drawing protests from neighboring states and concern from Washington. At the same time, tensions around Taiwan remain a core focus of Chinese military planning. The Fujian, with its enhanced operational range, would play a crucial role in any potential scenario requiring air and sea dominance over the Taiwan Strait. Still, Chinese officials insist that the country's defense buildup is meant for stability and safeguarding sovereignty, not for aggression. Domestically, the Fujian's launch has been celebrated as a moment of national pride. Chinese state media have portrayed it as a triumph of indigenous innovation and strategic foresight. The Global Times described it as a monument to China's growing confidence in its own scientific and industrial capabilities. The narrative emphasizes President Xi's personal role in approving the electromagnetic catapult system, reinforcing his image as the central architect of China's modernization drive. During the commissioning ceremony in Hainan, Xi toured the deck, inspecting sailors and speaking about the importance of discipline and readiness. Sailors reportedly chanted in unison, "Follow the party's command, fight to win, and uphold fine conduct," a slogan that encapsulates the fusion of political loyalty and military professionalism that defines the PLA under Xi's leadership. Outside China, reactions to the Fujian's commissioning have been more measured. Analysts in Washington, Tokyo, and Canberra have noted that while the Fujian represents a major technological step, it does not yet fundamentally alter the balance of power at sea. The ship will likely require several years of testing and operational training before becoming fully combat ready. Launching and recovering aircraft at sea, coordinating carrier strike groups, and conducting long-range missions demand extensive experience, something the US Navy has refined over decades. Moreover, China's carrier fleet remains conventionally powered, limiting endurance compared to the nuclear-powered US carriers that can remain at sea indefinitely. Nonetheless, the Fujian's capabilities represent an unmistakable statement that China is closing the gap, and in the long term, this will compel the US and its allies to rethink maritime strategy in the Indo-Pacific. The broader implications of the Fujian's entry into service stretch beyond military competition. Naval expansion is increasingly intertwined with China's global ambitions, including its Belt and Road Initiative and growing overseas presence. From a Chinese perspective, protecting far-flung economic interests, trade routes, and investments in Africa, the Middle East, and the Pacific demands a navy capable of global reach. The Fujian symbolizes that shift from regional to global thinking. Yet the expansion also heightens the risk of misunderstanding and confrontation, particularly in areas where US and Chinese patrols overlap. For now, the Fujian stands as both a technological triumph and a strategic test, proof of how far China has come, and a reminder of how much the world's balance of power is evolving. Whether this new chapter in naval history ushers in cooperation or confrontation will depend not on ships or missiles, but on the restraint and diplomacy exercised by the great powers that command them.